It's an At the Office edition of the East Bank Sports Show, serving up the hottest sports takes from right here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's your hosts, Noah, John, and Eric.
Cleveland, welcome into the office, the podcast where we talk all things sports. I'm your host, Noah. I'm joined by my co-host, Just John today. Just John. Eric is on vacation. We'll give him crap in a minute. But you could join us in the office too. Send us a comment on YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you're watching. Type in. We'll gladly show it on the screen. Or text the show, 216-250-1411. That's 216-250-1411. John, how are we doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing well, man. We kind of went head-to-head on the Baker stuff last week. We'll keep it a little bit more tame today. It's just you and me. We don't have Eric to break it up.
Right.
But I'm doing well. I was going to come at you and be like, what do you mean it's just John? It's still pretty good, but no, it's good to be with you, brother. I'm glad we're doing it. I hope E is enjoying his well-deserved vacation.
I agree. However, Eric did tell us last week live on air that he was going to come live from the beach. He was not going to miss the show. He gave you a bunch of shit. I deserve some shit because when I went to Vegas, I missed the show. And he's no better than either of us. And I doubt he's listening right now. He's probably had a few too many libations over there in the Outer Banks. But regardless, Eric, if you are listening, that's some BS, man. Don't call us out next time.
Yeah, I can only call him out halfway because I went on the first vacation of 2 to Outer Banks as well. And I told you guys, I'm going to try to do the show. And then like by Monday, I was like, nah, dog, not happening. So
no, I remember that too.
Because that was BS, but like also I did the same thing.
No, I remember when we went on the Vegas trip, it was after you did your Outer Banks trip. So I didn't even bring anything. I didn't even attempt to think that I was going to get a show in. I was just like, nope, John said no. If John can't pull it off, I'm definitely not going to pull it off because I am 23 and downtown in the heart of Las Vegas with a pocket full of money and some gambling tendencies in my blood. But John, we could talk vacations forever. I assume these people do not care about our vacations. What games are you
fall, baby.
What's that?
It's fall, baby. We're back to school, back to football. Everybody's home, at least everybody with kids. Single guy Eric can take vacation whenever he wants. But many Americans are returning back from vacation season, getting into football. So, yeah, let's talk some NFL and some pigskin.
Yeah, for sure, man. So the question of the day, and it's going to be open and broad. Let us talk. We'll cut to commercial, at some point and kind of just have fun with it, honestly. What games are you looking forward to this NFL season? This was originally going to be our 30-second takes question for this week, but I kind of wanted to open it up, talk some games, some highlights, because I know I am absolutely juiced to watch football tomorrow night and Friday night and Saturday night and Sunday night and Monday night, and then take a 2-day break and do it all over again, baby. So, John, what games are you looking forward to? Just give me one off the top.
One off the top. All right, before I get into all the other stuff, don't the Jets play the 49ers on Monday?
Yeah, that was one of the games I have highlighted. Jets at 49ers on Monday to see what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and just watch the 49ers play damn good football.
It's the best team, in my opinion, in the NFC versus a team that thought they would be a Super Bowl contender when they signed Aaron Rodgers. Hasn't panned out. It's been a while, but he's back and healthy and ready to go. So, I mean, shit, let's start with something that's going to be before this time next week. Jets at Niners Monday night, big week 1 matchup.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that game too. Like I said, I had it highlighted. Another game I'm looking forward to, which is complete cop-out because it's in less than 24 hours. No, less than 24 hours from now, Ravens at Chiefs. How could I not be excited for the first night of Thursday night football? A barn burner of 2 teams. I'm ready to get some bets in on that game. I'm ready to sit down, crack open a beer. John, I know you don't drink, so you can crack open a nice Diet Coke or something like that and watch Thursday night football for the first time in what feels like decades.
Yes. I'll you know what? We're not big enough that I need to worry about brands, but I'm going to keep the brand to myself. But there's a big prominent non-alcoholic beer brand that makes delicious beverages. That's usually what I go with for game day. So I'm with you on the beer. I'm just going to feel okay after it because I still got to function because I got kids.
Interesting. Now I got a question for you because you thought I was going to say Browns versus Cowboys. Did you write that down on your list? Because it's on my list.
No, so no is a strong answer. I'm always excited for the return of football, but there's two things that I think are true. One, I like that we talk about games we're excited about, but not do like a Browns schedule game, because in the NFL it is way too. I think in college it makes sense, but in the NFL, 4 teams you think are going to suck are going to contend, and 4 teams that are supposed to contend are going to suck. And there's only 32 teams. So being like, oh, the Jets, that's a win, and the Chiefs, that's a loss. I mean, it's kind of stupid. Plus, any given Sunday, right? Like the spread being bigger than 7.5 is pretty rare in the NFL because there's just
100%.
not a lot of. Even the Chiefs are like, oh my God, there's this quote unquote dynasty. Like they're going to lose at least 6 or 7 games this season. Like, well, 7 would be a lot, but at least 5 or 6. I think maybe not, but
we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I think they're the only tried and true team in the NFL. I think a lot of the teams, other than the 49ers, I think to Buffalo, I don't think they got better. I think they got worse. I don't think the Ravens got particularly better. They did get Derrick Henry, but I don't think they got better. You just think of some of these powerhouse teams that were up there in your 13-win, 12-win columns. The only team that's, ever in that conversation that I don't think has really changed. I don't know, man. The Chiefs just automatically in my mind, it's like 12 wins, 13 wins is the gimme, and anything below that's kind of rough.
Yeah. But 12 or 13 wins is 4 or 5 losses, right? That's what. So yeah. we're both right. We're in the same ballpark. Like I don't think the Chiefs are going to win 15 games.
I don't think any team this year is going to win 15 games. I think the NFL is just that damn good right now in terms of talent front to back. Even on some of your bottom tier rosters, I think the Saints, the Panthers, some of these teams that are not looking too hot. Speaking of teams not looking too hot, I wanted to ask you this because you're in a auction league and you were telling me and Eric about this in the group chat for the show earlier today. Jamar Chase did practice today. What are your thoughts? Do you think he's going to play without the selfishness of you paying how much for him?
Yeah. Big time players are going to play on the biggest stage. I don't think Jamar Chase can help himself. I think he'll probably get paid. But I don't think it's going to be from the Bengals, and I don't think it's going to be before the game on Sunday. So I don't think, given as much that's at stake, I mean, you're talking about, first of all, a team that could contend for a Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl last time everybody was healthy all season. Also, you want to get paid. You can't not be on the field and holding out. You got to remind everybody why you're worth $1 trillion. So I think push comes to shove. Yeah. He'll be out there regardless, but I think they should pay the man. I mean,
can they pay the man? They're the cheap ass Bengals, man. Tim isn't in the chat yet, so I feel comfortable calling them cheap unless he's just listening while he's playing NCAA or something.
They can pay him. They choose not to.
Yeah.
My mom's a Bengals fan. I remember stories when I was a kid about the owners of the Bengals giving each player on the team a home and away jersey, and then if it tore or they needed a new one, telling them they had to use their own money and buy it from the team shop.
So we're not that up like – yeah, you brought that up not too long ago on the show, I feel like, when we were talking AFC North predictions. Continue, man. Continue.
No, it's just – I mean, they're an awful franchise and they're cheapskates, but, like, you can't have Joe Burrow and nothing. Or maybe you do. Maybe he'll – how many years – do you know how many years are left on his contract?
Joe Burrow's no clue.
I'm sorry, Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, he's on his 4th out of 5, and the next year on his contract is like the – 5th-year rookie option where they pay like the mid-tier of whatever the contracts, you know what I'm saying, in terms of first-round picks. I think he's 4 out of 5 right now. If not, he's 5 out of 5.
If he's in his last year, he's definitely going to get paid by somebody else. And the Bengals would be idiots to let him go because they have a core of a championship team down there, just with him and Burrow. All you need is a defense that's middle of the road and a running back who can eat carries, and
Yeah, no, I agree with you that I think he'll pay, and I think they should pay him, especially because a franchise tag, I feel like, is the kiss of death in terms of a player relationship at this point in the NFL. Like, I feel like they were so much more common in like the early 2010s, even mid 2010s, and now you rarely see them because players are just like, I don't want to be locked into this. I don't even know if I think the NFLPA might be fighting up against that. John, I want one more game you're looking forward to this season.
Oh, brother, I got a bunch, and I think it works out well because I don't want to call the NFC the JV, but like the AFC is so stacked, but
yeah,
there's parity in each division, right? The AFC North is god awful because it's so tough, and the NFC South is god awful because it's god awful, but they're all going to compete, right? You got a bunch of teams that are kind of even. Best matchups of the NFL season for me are the teams I think can either win the Super Bowl or the teams that will make the jump. So you got your hometown team. So you got the Browns, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Niners. And then in my opinion, a team that nobody's talking enough about is the Houston Texans. They should be excellent coming back this year. So Chiefs and Bills, they play all the time. Every time that's up, that's later in the season, but that's a good one. Texans play the Cowboys. Texans play the Bills. Those should be really.
I have Texan Bills week 5. I think that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
We could go into this for a second. I'm actually going to cut us to commercial just so we get it in. Come back. We can talk some more of these matchups because I want to see what some of our overlap is, that kind of thing. And then go from there, my man. So we'll be right back with the East Bank Sports Show at the office. Enjoy the commercials. And we are back with the East Bank Sports Show. Just real quick reminder, please hit that subscribe button if you are watching this on YouTube. Helps us grow the channel a ton. 99% of you are not subscribed, and it helps us grow. We've seen some growth from the Baker Mayfield video that we've done, as well as some of the Dome videos we've done in the past, and some Guardians videos we've done in the past. So if you are new here and watching, welcome. We hope you enjoy the content we are creating here at the office. But John, I want to get back into it because there's one game I highlighted that I wanted to sneak past you and tell me what you thought. You were calling the NFC North, or not the NFC North, but the NFC in general, kind of the JV. And I know you were exaggerating there.
Yeah.
But week 17, 49ers versus Detroit is one that I wrote down because of what the implications could be there. Week 17 out of 18 in the NFL for playoffs and that kind of thing. Especially as an AFC North football fan in general, because I'm a Browns fan, obviously, something like this could be an entertaining side game to watch that you don't have as much stock in, and you can just enjoy some good football and two seemingly powerhouses in the NFC go at it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that's an excellent pick. I didn't realize that game was that late in the year. That's wild. It could be for anything at that point. It could be for number 1 seed in the NFC. I don't know. You reminded me of something else too. The Detroit Lions. You know how we talked about with the Olympic medals? If you're not rooting for the USA, who are you rooting for and why? Or if the USA wasn't there,
right? Yeah. Hard
to root against the Lions if they're not playing the Browns, isn't it?
No, I know, because they were both the 0-16 Lake Erie franchises. The only thing that gets to me is that they're in that state up north that I don't really like too much. It's the only thing that gets to me. But no, especially like Dan Campbell, I love him. Jared Goff having a career resurgence with the team. I love it. So it's hard not to like the Detroit Lions. I agree with you 100%.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's father might be able to kick everybody's ass actually on the team, and dude's like 50. Wasn't he Mr. Universe or something?
Yeah. That's crazy. Man. What do you think is going to come out? I want to kind of focus on week 1 again for a second. What do you think is going to come out of the Friday matchup, the first Brazil game, the Green Bay Philly game Friday night?
It's another good matchup and another good game in the NFL. I don't know what to make of the Packers yet. I know Jordan Love is playing really well, and I want to give him props. There's absolutely no shade there, but I can't imagine they're going to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to this kid and just never be bad for like 45 years. He's got to hit a hiccup, right? And the other thing is, though, are the Eagles still? Like the Eagles that won the Super Bowl and the Eagles are now have taken a step back. I still think they can contend in the NFC. But the Eagles aren't the best team in the NFC. So one team that we think is going to be good that's on its way up, one team that we know has been good that could be on its way down. Maybe they're passing each other on like opposite elevators, but it should be a good matchup. I think by the end of this season or next season, Philly could be back to the old 8 and 9 and starting over, and the Packers could be a serious juggernaut. But for right now, I think it's going to be an awesome game.
Yeah, I'm excited for the game. I'm really curious. I don't know how much you were paying attention to sports news today. The team physicians suggested that the players do not sleep on the plane ride to Brazil, so their body's internal clocks aren't all screwed up for the game. Thought that was really interesting. I'm excited to see this game. I'm excited to see. I like the NFL reach out games where we get to play these games in different countries, places that don't get to see American football like we do. When I walk down the street to the Muni lot and have myself a ball and then make it to some dive bar by 1 p.m. So I'm really excited to see what that fanfare looks like as well. I love the idea of the game of American football growing as a former American football player, of course. And I'm excited for the matchup, man. I think it's going to be a good matchup in general between two NFC teams that, I think could put on a good show for a game in Brazil for the first time in NFL history. John?
Yeah, I think it's also I was a geography nerd in school, so first thing I'll say is, like the whole country, the whole continent of South America is east of Miami. So you think of it as just being south, but like you're going 2, 3, 4 hours ahead. It's like going damn near like going to Europe.
Yeah.
Question for you though, because when I said, hey, what games are you most excited about seeing? It's the teams I think can contend play each other. And I got to a little contender or pretender thing. I know it's overdone. It's cheesy. They do it on TV too. But like, are the Miami Dolphins any good?
So one of the games I have highlighted for this week, I highlighted all the teams that I think could be in that contender realm, right? So one of the games I have highlighted for Sunday that isn't Browns versus Cowboys, obviously, was Jacksonville at Miami, because both of those teams have kind of been on the cusp, in this lower end of the AFC, back and forth, winning a division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have that highlighted. I'm curious to see if they're going to be pretenders or contenders. Tim, I am glad you are in the chat now and not when I was talking about the Bengals earlier. What's up, my man? Back to what you were saying, though. I think Miami has a chance still. I think they have a pretty loaded roster, even if it's a wild card make. Jacksonville, I don't know. But I'm excited for that matchup. Miami's on the bubble, man, in my opinion, too, if that's what you were thinking. And Tim, yeah. I'm not going to show that comment because we're trying to limit the bad words, but no, I would never do that. I would never talk bad about the Cincinnati Bengals. Come on now, man. Another game I have highlighted. Sorry, that threw me off for a second. Rams at Detroit.
Yeah.
Any interest in that one? The Sunday night game after the Browns beat the Cowboys 500-0.
We got to come back to that because I'm a little nervous about the first game.
I was going to ask you what you thought about the game. Me and Matt did that show, doing like a preview breakdown on Monday, but I want to hear your takes too. I'm not going to double down on mine. Go check out that episode to hear my thoughts though. But no, give me your thoughts on that Rams at Detroit game.
It's the first weekend, so I'll watch as much as I can. That one doesn't excite me as much. No matter where you shake out on the Rams, I got the Lions as being significantly better, and this is a game they should win, no matter where it is. I could be wrong about that. The Rams also won the Super Bowl. I always reference the Bengals making it to and losing. So they're not that far removed from being good. Puka Nacua, I mean, they got studs, but no Aaron Donald, and defense is a little different, and you don't know what you're going to get out of quarterback play. Like, I don't expect them to be bottom feeders, but the Rams are not as good as the Lions in my mind.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just think it's going to be interesting, to see what those two. A lot of these games I picked week one, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least the Jacksonville at Miami, the Rams at Detroit, and even the Jets at 49ers, not because of the 49ers, but I picked those games as ones that are highlighted in my mind because I'm interested to see what these teams look like and are made of in week one. I think that's my biggest highlight in terms of week one picks of games I'm excited to watch, the ones I want to see, that kind of thing.
The only two, like the thing that's cool about it is that everybody in the AFC is so good and everybody in the NFC is even equal in their division. Like I started to come on with like a really vanilla take and I did a little bit more homework. Every division game should be a good game, like all year, especially in the AFC. Like I'm looking at the entire AFC, North, South, East, West. And the only couple of teams, like there's literally two teams that I think are going to stink. Probably Denver, probably New England, and everybody else could win their division. Like if I said, hey, the Kansas City Chiefs won 11 games, but Vegas won 12 and they took the division, would you think that's completely crazy? It'd be an improvement, but like they got dudes out there. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Chargers aren't bad.
Right.
Tennessee got rid of Derrick Henry. I shouldn't say they'll be bad. Tennessee's another team that's going to have to work really hard.
I was going to say Tennessee, the Colts, I don't think are going to do anything crazy this year.
The Colts made the playoffs last year, didn't they? Or did they come within one game at the end of the year and lost?
No, they came within one game. I guess Anthony Richardson, if he stays healthy, that's true. The Raiders, I don't think are gonna do anything this year, though. I'll say the Raiders should be in that list. I don't think they're going to be like 2-15, but I don't think they're going to be much of anything this year.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair enough. But like, so maybe we leave the AFC West out of it because the Chiefs are far and away the best team. But even the Chiefs and Chargers is a good game. You don't want to see Houston, Jacksonville, or Pittsburgh, Cincy, or Baltimore, Cleveland, or Miami, Buffalo. Like there are good games every division. They get to play twice. Like that's fun.
Right. No, I'm with you 100%. John, I want to hear what your thoughts are Browns Cowboys week 1, because you said you were a little bit nervous. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious because I'm feeling confident. I don't think it's a surefire win by any means, but I'm feeling confident in our squad just based off of everything I saw last year. New offense this year. Everybody's healthy. Even Jedrick Wills practiced today, even though he said he's already not playing, but he did practice today for the first time all of the 2024 season. But what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, when we have LeBron, we do this thing where we kind of come in third or fourth in the East and then just sweep everybody and go straight to the finals because we had LeBron. And everybody's like, what about the regular season? The Cowboys are like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
They are a regular season juggernaut that I don't want any parts of, home or away. And then they get to the playoffs and choke and lose to Green Bay by 35 points. First game of the season. Low expectations because this is the first time on the field taking meaningful snaps for Deshaun Watson in a long time. I think you're going to see some rust. And I think that the Cowboys are just going to come out. And I can see the Browns winning the division. I am on board this season. I'm not being pessimistic. But the Browns don't win their first game of the season very often when they're good or when they're bad. And they got a really good –
The last couple years, man, we've been all right with the first game in the season, whether it be keeping it close or winning. 2-2 out of the last 4 years, and convincing win against Tim Lyons' Bengals last year, and a game time Cade York career game year against the Panthers and Baker Mayfield.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like it was Baker Mayfield and the Panthers, and we needed a 63-yard field goal with 50. It wasn't that long, but
I don't disagree with you. We were also starting Jacoby Brissett, to be completely fair.
That is a good point. But full circle back to the original statement, Browns don't win their opener very often. I don't see that changing this year. I think the Cowboys are going to get them something like 27-17, and then we'll be off and running after that once everybody's at the 480 bridge ready to jump. I think the season's going to be good. I think we'll still play well if we stay healthy and get decent quarterback play. All the things we've talked about, Browns will be contenders in this division. But shit, man, I don't know, man. The Cowboys and national TV, I mean, this is a game where the Browns we're just begging to get embarrassed on national TV, and I think they're going to give it to us. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm ready to break that curse, and I'll give you my thoughts real quick. I'm not going to double down on every little point I made in the last episode, but I do want to hear what you have to say about what I have to say. But I want to give Tim some credit real quick because he gave me a couple comments I want to highlight. It's okay, Noah, I talk crap about Watson on Rumble or running through the jungle. Not going to lie, as you should. There's no reason for anybody other than us sitting here to have any type of faith in that man right now, and our faith is blind faith. Joe Burrow and his bum calf from last year in monsoon weather. Yes, we did beat Joe Burrow last year, but the bum calf was not officially a thing last year. Just to go back for a second, but the monsoon weather was rough, but it did affect us too. And I will put that out there. My thoughts for this game is, even though the Cowboys are a regular season juggernaut, like the Cavs were a postseason juggernaut through the East, and to me, I look at the records from last year, right? The Browns were 9-1, 8-1 at home. 9-1, 8-1. I don't have the stats up. This is what I brought up on the last show.
Yeah, they were really good.
The Cowboys were 5-6 on the road. They were fantastic at home, but they were 5-6 on the road. And the Browns defense last year held teams to under 13.5 points at home.
That's the wild card.
That's the average. It's on the defense, period. It's on the defense, too,
because we're not going to be able to run the ball. You got to run the ball and stop the run. In the AFC North, they always say, if the weather's warm, Deshaun Watson's going to throw it 50 times on Sunday. So I hope he's as good as you say he can be, because this has one of those, how you get Florida State fans will know what I'm talking about. You get all excited for the season. You get the ranking. We went to the playoffs late. We got our swag back. Like, the Browns are going to come out. We got playoff. You know how you always got that one first gut punch before you get on to the season, especially as Browns fans? Like, even when we're good, even in the season of dreams, when we went 10-6 and Derek Anderson went great, we had to lose the first game 42-3 and get a safety like on the last play of the game. You know what I mean? I just see them coming out, scoring, Watson panicking, throwing a pick six, and it's 14-0 with 50 minutes to play. And now we got to throw 62 times, and Deshaun's not up to the task, and they just run away. I mean, like I said, 35.
The scenario 14. You just gave me, though, reminds me of the Ravens game last year, where it was 14-0. Deshaun threw a pick six to start the game, and we won.
All right. Hey, listen, I like to give my unbiased non-Browns opinion. If you said, as a fan, what is going to happen Sunday? Browns 77. Cowboys 0. Dak Prescott gets taken out because Myles Garrett kills him, and we look
16 sacks.
Yeah. Cowboys are really good, man.
No, Cowboys I agree with you. Like I said, I don't think this game is a gimme. We're gonna for sure win it by any means. I don't think any of that. But I have some faith in this team, especially at home. Big game. I don't think the lights scare this team anymore. I think we faltered in the playoffs at the time because of, Joe Burrow's light, or not Joe Burrow. I see Tim commenting now, and I'm thinking Bengals. Joe Flacco's light was starting to burn out, obviously. I just see this being a good game for us, and it really all falls on the defense. I also want to fact check myself real quick so it's on record. Yes, Joe Burrow did have a calf injury for the Browns game. I was thinking about his throwing wrist thing that came out later, which put him out for the whole season, but the calf injury was there week 1. I do remember that now. Thank you for the fact check, Tim. John, I got another question for you. Unless you
I'm just going to give you like 1 or 2 games that we haven't mentioned that could be fun.
Yeah, I was going to go Browns focus, so go for it.
Oh yeah, let's do that 1 sec. I don't personally believe in the Chargers. I think they're a good enough team, but they're in LA. They get a ton of press. They have awesome uniforms and a very amazing stadium, and everybody kind of, it's the Chargers. Why not? I don't think they're contenders, but if I'm wrong and they are, Ravens-Chargers week 12 is going to be really good. And then we said contender, pretender. If the Dolphins are contenders, the 49ers also play the Dolphins late in the season. So,
I saw that. I had that written down, but I already had 2 49ers games written down. And I already had a Dolphins game, so I just forgave, whatever. I let it go. 2 games
wait. And we forgot. The Chiefs play the 49ers. Do we say Chiefs 49ers?
Do the Chiefs play the 49ers?
Mid-season, week 6, 7, 8, sometime around like the Browns bye.
I'm double checking you right now. It's not that I don't believe you. Yeah. October 20th, 4:25 game.
Yeah, I don't want to say it goes without saying, but shit. I mean,
right? No, it goes without saying. Period.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably a good game if everybody's healthy.
2 games, and then I'm gonna go Browns focus for a little bit, and then we can wrap this thing up if you want to. I know we already mentioned Bills Texans early on, week 5 game. Kind of forgot about mentioning when we brought that up the first time, though, the implications of Stephon Diggs. It's the Diggs Bowl, man.
The Diggs Bowl. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. That's a good one. That's a good call out. We did skip that one.
The other one I had
football. It's so people like to root against the dynasty and the juggernaut, and some people think it's good for the game because it gives you either somebody you love or somebody to root against. So when the Patriots win 16 games, either you love them or you hate them. I prefer this. I prefer a crap ton of teams where nobody's going to win more than 13 and nobody's going to lose more than 13. Like everybody could be a 500-ish at least, especially like I said, the AFC. I don't know. There's so much parity. Like, I don't know. I just prefer it this way rather than the, Roethlisberger Steelers winning 14 games, the Manning Colts winning 13 games, and the Patriots winning 13 games, and the Ravens winning 13 games, and everybody else sucking. Everybody in the AFC theoretically makes the playoffs with the expanded playoffs and the extra wild card team. Even the bottom feeders, like even the lowly Las Vegas. If Las Vegas could pull 500 out of nowhere and get the last playoff seed, absolutely they could. In that division, I wouldn't bet on it, but that would not shock me. So
I still think Vegas is out of this. Real quick, I want to hear your reaction on this. Since we're going off script, not that there was a script, we're going scriptless today, and we're just talking and having a good time on live. Panthers win 5 games. John, you taking the over or the under on that?
I'm going to stand by my original statement. I'm going to take the over because I think they win 6. But in that division, 6 wins can win the division.
I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on the in my mind, I have them at 4. So 5, I just thought would be a fun line to go out.
I mean, they get to play the Saints twice.
5.5 is the over under. So Tim is technically taking the under as well with that. Just to be fair.
No, he took the over. If he said 6 and the over under is 5.5.
No, he said Panthers win 5 games. The line's 5.5.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'll go over. I'll go over at 6 just because their division. What is Tampa Bay scary? I mean, they could win 3 or 4 division games and still only win 6, but we'll see.
Right,
they are bad.
The last game I have written down as a non-Browns game that I wanted to mention was Falcons at Vikings. The Kirk Cousins Bowl.
That's the only reason I think that one. I don't have either of these teams seriously contending.
Neither do I.
But it is fun because of the players and,
I had to throw one curveball. We're talking about the upper echelon and the Browns, and that's about it. All right, let's put that to the side for a second and talk about something that's just fun for the implications of the quarterback playing for one team.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. I like a lot of these little matchups. We saw like Stephon Diggs. We've seen Cousins. We've seen a lot of people change teams, and when guys get together with their old mates, usually makes for interesting theater. That game is late enough in the season. I think the sizzle could be gone if one or both of those teams.
That's week 14.
If that was week 2, I'd be like, "Yep, let's do it. Like, let's get it on right out of the gate." That's a fair point. If by week 14 both of these teams are 4 and whatever, then me. I don't know though. The Falcons are kind of interesting.
I mean, they've got pieces. Don't get me wrong. They've played competitive football, and they have a better quarterback than they ever have. I want to pose this question from Tim Lyons as well. Who do we pick for Steelers versus Falcons? I say they tie and the stadium collapses. Who are you taking?
I got Steelers. AFC versus NFC Steelers defense. Yeah, I got the Steelers in that one right now. Tim asked me again, like, wait, that's this week.
Yeah.
I was going to say ask me again before the game because I thought it was a few weeks out, but no, you can't. This is the ask. Yeah. Yeah, give me Pittsburgh. What's the line on that? That's what
I'm
I
not
really should.
100% sure. I can pull it up real quick for you. I don't know. I'm torn on this one too, just because the Falcons have, a decent defense. They have Kirk Cousins. They have some offensive weapons. Um, are you looking at the lines or should I?
I am looking at the. Oh, we could do this when Eric gets back. By the way,
What?
you want to keep? We could keep track of we could just go. Here's the line. Get a little spreadsheet and everybody pick their team with the spread and see what we end up against ATS at the end of the season. Or whenever, or week by week, or do it every now and then. But that could be fun.
No, for sure, for sure. I love how casual this episode is. Real quick, I want to shout out everybody tuning in. We really just came in and decided we wanted to talk and be all excited together for, a little bit about the NFL starting tomorrow. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Falcons are favored by 3, Tim just said.
Yeah, but the game's in Pittsburgh. Isn't it?
I think it's Falcons. Steelers.
So this isn't as tried and true as my theory about taking wide
receivers.
It's in
Atlanta. That's why they're favored.
Okay. So this stupid website that I pulled up, usually everything that I use in life, the home team's on the bottom. And this says Falcons versus Steelers with the Steelers on the bottom and the Steelers are on the road. So that's my fault for picking a dumb website. But okay. Well, I'm going to still say it since I was halfway through it. This isn't as tried and true as my draft QBs and wide receivers theory for fantasy. But in the NFL, home underdogs are a really good play. And if this game was Steelers plus 3.5 at home, that's the kind of place where you can make some money. Because the NFC dome team early in the season, Steelers defense, that atmosphere, I can see the Steelers covering 3.5 at home, but they're not. Okay, it's in Atlanta. I mean, I still got the Steelers to cover 3.5. I think that game is close, and I think they can win it outright.
I think I have the Steelers on that one too, as much as I don't want to admit it, just because. But I'll be happy if Atlanta wins. John, I got another question for you, and then we can kind of take it from there and wrap up the show. What games on the Browns schedule do you have circled for this season? Are there any in your mind that stick out that matter, existentially to you? Because I have 2 that I listed in terms of my notes for today's episode of games I was looking forward to. But I didn't want to, completely glaze the Browns the whole time and talk some of the wider NFL.
Yes, there are games that mean more. And to win your division, you got to win in your division. And more so than any time since 1999, maybe the most of any season. I think who goes to the playoffs out of this division and who's at home shaking their head and wondering why is going to be your ability to win in your division. So it sounds cliche, and it is the easy way out. So I'll give you a few other games. But you play the Baltimore Ravens twice, the Pittsburgh Steelers twice, and the Cincinnati Bengals twice. If you win 4 or 5 of those games, you're going to win the division. If you lose 4 or 5 of those games, you're going to be sitting at home as a wild card maybe or out wondering what the hell happened. You're going to be like, well, you couldn't beat Cincinnati and Baltimore at home. And that's going to be what it comes down to. Dallas, I think, is a loss. But Dallas is interesting because it's the first game of the season. I think Jacksonville is very good. I think the Eagles are very good. But as far as non-division teams, when I think about what games I have circled too, we got the Chiefs and the Dolphins late.
Yeah.
Chiefs week 16 and Dolphins
week 15. 18. Chiefs is one of the games I have circled. I'm going to go on my tangent real quick. I have 2 games that I have circled for the Browns this year that just stick out to me more for, I guess, the emotional implications. Mm-hmm. I have Browns versus Chiefs week 15. Because of all the implications of what that had in our playoff run with Baker, and then coming back and Baker getting hurt in that first game, which kind of probably led to the downfall of what that roster was built to be before they traded for Deshaun. And we're not going to go into that can of worms again now, are we, John?
No, we're not.
That game I think is really important. It's in Cleveland, and it's a whiteout game. It's one of the 3 games that the Browns are going to be going white head to toe, white helmet, white throwbacks, white pants, white cleats, white socks, white everything. Whiteout late in the season, potential snow involved, whole stadium wearing white, going crazy like it's that Thursday night football game against the Jets for us to clinch the playoffs. That one, I think, is set up to mean a lot for this team.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is Browns at Steelers, for the sole reason of I want this team to shake so badly the monkey off their back of not being able to win in Pittsburgh. We could be better than Pittsburgh. I think we've been better than Pittsburgh the last couple of years in general, except the one year where Baker, threw regardless.
Or the one year Baker won a playoff game in Pittsburgh. But yeah, keep going.
Right. No, but we were better that year. I was excluding the year after that when he was hurt and we were like 7-10 or whatever.
Yeah,
those 2 games to me, I think, are the most outstandingly important to me as a fan, because those are just things I want to see the team get over the hump on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The cool thing about NFL over baseball, basketball is that these last games mean so much to playoff contenders, and we got a chock full roster of them to like wrap up the season. NFL did a great job of putting division games at the end of the year, so now the games matter more a lot of the time. And then you mix the Dolphins and Chiefs in. If you fancy yourself a contender, which means the ability to contend to win the Super Bowl, games like the Chiefs at home in December need to be wins. And I'm right there with you. You and the Dolphins and the Steelers, you got to beat the Steelers late. Like, there's some games at the end of the schedule. I think the Chiefs game is big. Yeah, I like the away Steelers game too, but that Dolphins game, man. If the Dolphins are and to be fair to them, the Dolphins have the same moniker as the Browns. The whole are they pretender or contender? I would say that about our own team too.
I think that's the national opinion. I think personally it's a little egregious, and maybe that's the homer in me saying that. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
People are going to be, I mean, if you're right and Deshaun is good, not even great or Hall of Fame or MVP caliber, if Deshaun Watson is just good,
yeah,
this is a 13-win football team, and they are absolutely a Super Bowl contender. Because with that defense and with the talent everywhere and Nick Chubb coming back, forget about it. The question I just can't get there on is he going to be good or is he going to be average? Because if he's average, we could still win a lot of games, but you're going to lose in the playoffs like you lost to the Texans last time. You're not going to be able to beat teams like the Ravens on the road and win a Super Bowl if he's just average. He's got to be at least good.
I'm really, really curious and excited for the NFL season to start in T-minus less than 24 hours at the time of recording and at the time of being live. John, is there anything else you want to throw out there before I take this show home? I wasn't going to do final thoughts and takes unless you really want me to.
No, it's an easy final take for me. Football is back, and unless you're a Florida State fan, it's something to be excited about. This, I don't mean to pick on them, but golly, top 10 and you lose 2. Yeah, but maybe we'll talk some college next week, man. I'm just glad football is back and that the fall's here.
Yeah, me too, man. I am ready to watch some NFL. I've been excited to watch college, watching Ohio State beat up on Akron. Through and through. Go ahead. What?
Took them a minute. I think we talked about this, but I'm like, the Buckeyes always, it doesn't matter if it's Akron, Marshall, San Diego State, they always find a way at halftime to be down 13-14 before they score 35 points.
Right.
But they got it done.
That's always how they've been, regardless of the quarterbacks. But I'm excited for football to be back. I'm excited that we've got to watch some college. I'm excited that the Browns play football, America's game of the week, basically a national game on Sunday. John, it's been a pleasure, my man, being able to sit here, have this super casual, laid back, off the hip, no script episode of The Office. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, please hit that subscribe button. Check out everybody with the Fanatical Elves and Fans First Sports Network. Help us grow this brand that we are so happily a part of. And until next time, Cleveland, Cincinnati in the chat, America Have a great rest of your week and enjoy some damn good football this season.